As the movie starts, Jimmy, a former football player who lost a leg in the service, is now working at a construction site fixing sinkholes, and his daughter, Sadie, was listening to his favorite music while fixing his car. The next day, Jimmy goes through his shift in the tunnels beneath the motor speedway. Then Cal, head of the construction site, called Jimmy in and told him that he was fired on account of him being limp. Jimmy had been working as a construction worker for Charlotte Motor Speedway until he was let go. He was very disappointed when he heard this. Right away, Jimmy went to his ex-wife, Bobby's house to pick up his daughter, Sadie, for a beauty pageant rehearsal. He learns that Bobby and her new husband, Moody, are moving to Lynchburg, making it even harder for Jimmy to visit. So now he recognizes that he really needs money to get rid of his current problems as he's laid off from his job. So now he planned up a heist that targets the pneumatic tube cash delivery system at the Speedway. Later that night, Jimmy goes to a bar run by his brother Clyde, an Iraq war veteran who lost his left arm during the war. As they were talking, a NASCAR team owner, Max, enters the bar with two friends and makes fun of Clyde's disability. Jimmy defends his brother and starts a fight. Clyde grabs a bottle from the bar and heads outside to set Max's car on fire. Max and his friends run outside to see the car burning and start filming the scene. Jimmy grabs their phones and throws them into the fire, then turns to Clyde and says, "Cauliflower." Cauliflower is used as a code word of sorts, signaling to Clyde that Jimmy is onto something and desires his involvement. It was more like a code they used when they committed crimes as young boys. The next morning, Clyde asked Jimmy why he mentioned cauliflower. Jimmy told Clyde that he's planning to pull up a heist by stealing money from this big NASCAR racetrack at the speedways. NASCAR stands for National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, which is a unique sport and is the most popular closed-wheeled racing series in the United States of America. So now they recruit a team for the robbery, themselves and their sister, Melly. The three follow Jimmy's to-do list, which has 10 important rules to stage a heist in a bid to rewrite their family history. But these guys don't know anything about breaking into a vault, so they decided to get Joe Bang to find out how to break into the thing. Joe Bang is a criminal known for his safe-cracking experience and who is currently nearing the end of a prison sentence. Jimmy and Clyde went to visit Joe and explained their plan to him. At Joe's request, his brothers, Fish and Sam, were also involved. The plan is to break Joe out just for the robbery and then sneak him back in before it would raise an alarm. To help him from the inside, Clyde intentionally imprisoned himself for a minor crime. He crashed a car through a shop window, getting a 90-day sentence. Now the plan is to break Joe and Clyde out of prison and return them later in the day. With the help of unknown woman working in the vault, Melly, Sam and Fish put cockroaches in the Speedway's tube system in order to determine which tubes go to the vault. While gathering supplies, Jimmy meets former schoolmate, Sylvia, who gives him a free tetanus shot inside her mobile clinic, which is in need of donations. Jimmy learns that construction at the Speedway is being completed ahead of schedule, forcing them to mount the heist a week earlier. On the day of the robbery, Joe and one of the prisoners create a fight inside to cover Joe and Clyde's absence from the prison. When the warden initiates a lockdown, they just locked inside an infirmary, and then both of them escaped via the secret hole in the infirmary and by hiding under delivery trucks. Melly was waiting for them outside. She picked them up and drove them to the Speedway. The Bang brothers, Fish and Sam, blow up the generator at the Speedway, which forced everybody to switch to cash. When the cash begins to flow out really fast, Joe creates a working bomb out of gummy bears, bleach, and salt to stuff it through the hole of the pipe. Jimmy and Clyde were confused when Joe says he used gummy bears as part of the bomb, and then stops the heist to give them a chemistry lesson on how an ingredient in the gummies mixed with the other materials creates an explosive reaction. They stuff the container with the bomb through the pipe, but it was stuck on the other edge and shoots back and hits Clyde in the chest. It thankfully doesn't go off because Joe realizes he tightened the bag too much. He loosens it and it explodes when it's sent back. This helped to blow open the gate from the tube to the vault. They connect the tube to a giant vacuum pump and start sucking all the cash into garbage bags. The smoke goes through the pipes and is noticed by the Speedway staff. Then the security guards investigate the smoke from the explosion, but are distracted by Earl, one of Clyde's bar customers. Now, as they quickly filled a cart full of money, Sam and Fish were ready to drive away, but they were blocked by an iron door that couldn't be opened. Jimmy arrived successfully, fixing the joint to help them get out easily. They put garbage bags full of money in a truck. On their way out, NASCAR team owner Max recognizes Clyde, and Clyde hits him bad. After that, Clyde and Joe sneak back into the prison disguised as firefighters, dispatched to deal with a kitchen fire that the prisoners set. The people in the prison have also estimated the time. They blocked all the cameras and windows to activate the fire alarm. Later that night, Sadie had a pageant show to perform. As Sadie takes the stage for her pageant show, where she plans on singing Rihanna's Umbrella, she finds Jimmy show up at the entrance. She then takes the bold move of changing the song and singing her father's favorite song, Take Me Home, Country Roads, instead, to make him proud and happy, eventually winning the trophy as well. After the show, Jimmy drove the track with the money and left it at the gas station and called the police. The money they stole got back to the racetrack. FBI came to investigate but found nothing unusual. Since the racetrack didn't suffer a lot of damage, they had to stop investigating. But one of the FBI agents, Sarah, suspects Jimmy, Clyde, and Joe, since Max had told her that he saw Clyde at the speedway. But still, she has no evidence. Did Jimmy give up all the money? Turns out Jimmy had another plan from before. We see that after the heist, Jimmy leaves the money behind, to what we discover later was actually only part of the money, as he and Clyde had out most of the money in the dumpster, while Joe was out helping his brothers opening the passage, which Jimmy had previously stuck. He used a magnet to cover the sensor. Therefore, he can solve the problem as soon as he comes. The goal is to keep Joe and his brothers together. At the same time, Melly also came and withdrew several bags of money. They put a tracker in their pocket and put it in the trash. Following the location, they quickly found the buried money bags. They did not do it to get all the money, but just in case Fish and Sam can't keep it a secret. Despite a few bumps during the plan, the mission was successful. They split the money equally. When Joe returns home after being released from prison, he finds garbage of money buried in his yard. Sylvia receives an anonymous donation. The inmate who started the fight at the prison receives an envelope stuffed with cash when he was released, and the unknown vault employee receives a cake box full of cat. The movie ends with Jimmy, who now works at a store near his daughter and ex-wife's house in Lynchburg, happily reuniting with the crew and Sylvia, with whom he is now in a relationship at Clyde's bar. The group is watched by Sarah, the FBI agent, who came into the bar as they were reuniting, and does a shot with Clyde and tells him she's new to the area, but thinks she will stay for a while, which brings the captivating film to an end. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. I'll be back with another interesting movie recap. Until then, take care.